Hello everybody, it's Garrett here again with FixMySauna.com, and in today's video I'm going to show you guys how to locate your power supply, the circuit board for your power supply, any relays that you may have, and then the fuse box if there's a fuse box on your infrared sauna. So the first thing, as a disclaimer, always make sure you unplug your infrared sauna before you start using or messing around with any of the wires. I've already done that on this one. The second thing today, again, is tools. Again, today I just have a regular Phillips screwdriver. That should really be all that you need. The second thing is a camera or your phone, and I'll get into that in a few minutes. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is remove the dust cover on the top of your sauna. I've already done that with this one. As you can see, it's kind of, you kind of have all the guts out here, or the guts are all showing. So I'm just going to go kind of just an overview of the parts in this infrared sauna. So these are your speakers. This is your left one. Here's your right one. Left or right, right or left. Here's your vent. Here is this particular sauna has color therapy lighting in it. So here's your color therapy light box. Here is all your heater wires that come into your power supply, and this is going to be where your power supply is. It's usually a box. Sometimes it's dark gray, sometimes it's light gray, but it's usually, this is what we call the brain of the sauna. It's where basically all your wires are going to come into. It's going to hold your power supply, your circuit board, your fuse, if you have a fuse, and any relays that you may have. Again, this is our diagnostic sauna. So the radio's gone, but this is where you would kind of access the radio, and then obviously you have the lights here. Some saunas, infrared saunas, have different light configurations, LEDs versus these, but they're all pretty much the same. So so once you locate the box, and like I said, it's going to be really easy for you to locate the box. There's going to be 4 screws. Sometimes there's 6 screws. Sometimes there's even sliders, but the goal here is to find the box and then find out how to take the top panel off. In some saunas, we've seen, depends on the original manufacturer, but some of them we've seen that you can't even remove the top, or there's no way to actually get into the guts. In those particular saunas, you're just going to go ahead and have to purchase a whole new box for them. But in this particular one, we can access it. So there's 4 screws on this. I've already taken them off. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up. So inside here, you're going to have, in this particular one, this is going to be your power supply. This is going to be your circuit board. In this particular circuit board, it's got a few relays on it here. And then up here, this particular one has a fuse, but this is more of a relay fuse. It's just a push button. So if this is kind of like a trip, kind of like a breaker in your home. So if this were to go out, generally speaking, you have to replace the whole thing. So the power supply in some of these infrared saunas, generally speaking, you always want to get the power supply from the original manufacturer. And now I'm not talking about the United States seller that you bought your sauna from. Whoever that may be, it more than likely came from overseas, so you want to make sure you get it from that exact company, or one that's configured in the way made for that sauna. There's a lot of, not a lot, but there's a few companies that sell infrared sauna parts online, and they buy generic power supplies. And a lot of times those power supplies, after inputting them in your sauna, replacing them, they burn out your circuit panel. Or your circuit board, because it wasn't configured to work with the circuit board, and vice versa. If you need a new circuit board, make sure you get it from the original manufacturer, because if not, it could actually blow out your power supply. So make sure you do it the right way the first time. Get it from the original manufacturer. Don't buy aftermarket parts for this stuff. And that's what FixMySauna.com specializes in, is actually getting the parts from the original manufacturer. I can't stress that enough, because we get calls all the time where they've bought parts from somewhere else. One company in particular, and they send them a generic, you know, maybe it has the same model number on it, but it's a generic copy of that model number. So if we diagnose your sauna with a power supply issue, the numbers or the issue or the information that we're going to need is going to be right there. Okay, so it's going to say, it's going to have a model number on it, and then it's going to have an AC input, and it's going to have a DC output. Those are the two things that we're going to need from you, so we can get the exact replacement from the manufacturer. Circuit boards are a little bit different. Generally, on a circuit board, what we need is we just need a couple pictures of it. You know, a lot of them are different, and since it's kind of more of an internal piece, we want to make sure that we get you the correct one and not an aftermarket one. Now, these these power supplies, if you just need to replace the power supply, and let me backtrack a little bit. A lot of times what happens with these saunas is if your power supply fails or goes out, a lot of times your circuit board will fail and go out as well, and vice versa. If your circuit board goes out, a lot of times your power supply will go out. So we generally recommend, if you're having an issue up here in this box, that you just go ahead and buy a new box if you can afford it. You get a 10-year warranty with fixmysauna.com, and this is kind of the hub or the main brain for the entire system. So you can expect at least 10 more years on your sauna, on BrainWise. But if you need to remove your power supply, if you're just replacing the power supply, a lot of times this can be a little tricky on removal. I like this sauna, and we use this as our diagnostic because it's one of the more difficult ones. A lot of people will spend, you know, a half an hour trying to figure out how to get this dang thing out, but how you remove it is really easy. So, or not easy, but it's easy for me because I know. But so on this box here, you're gonna have two front screws. So there's one here to the sauna, one on the left, one on the right, one on the top. I've already taken them out, but as you can see, there's your screws. So I've taken those out, and what you want to do then is you want to take it, and right under or behind it are going to be two screws. These are the screws that hold in that power supply. Now, a lot of people would, like I said, waste half an hour or an hour messing around before they unscrewed it and finally saw those two screws. So those are the two screws that you need to remove. Once those two screws are removed, that power supply is going to be loose. The next thing that you want to do before you start messing around with anything else is take a picture of this right here. So take a picture of all of these wires that are coming in, and take multiple angles of it. This will help you when you go back to reinstall your power supply. You know, a lot of people like to write it down, but just take a picture. It makes your jobs, it's just super easy with a picture. Same thing with the circuit board here. If you do need to replace this circuit board, or you know, relay in the circuit board, if this particular one, you have to replace the whole circuit board. But again, if you need to replace that, there's screws here. So there's one here, one there, one here, and one here. Take multiple pictures, and so when you reinstall the new one, it goes in really, really simple. And you don't mess it up as far as the wires are concerned. Because if you mess up the wires on here, you could short it out, and you could have, you know, even more issues than what you had before. So that's kind of the power supply. Now, if you have some of these boxes, they're going to have relays and separate relays or separate fuse boxes, and those will generally be right in this area here. And then, like I said, this one, the fuse, this is kind of like a breaker up here, but and I'll kind of get a close up of that. So that's kind of right here. This is your kind of your breaker, or it's kind of like a relay slash breaker. So it's a push button on this particular one, but some of them will actually have a fuse, where a fuse is in it that you'll need to replace a fuse if that's blown out. So that's kind of an overview of the basically the brain or the control box that carries the power supply, the circuit board, the fuse, the relays, all of that good stuff. That's where you find it. That's how you replace it. On a scale from 1 to 10, you're probably looking at a 6 or a 7 on this project if you need to replace it. If you just replace the whole box, it still is a little bit complicated because you've got to unscrew these little white connectors here, take a picture of where all the wires are coming in. So it's a little bit easier, but it's still a little bit more difficult. I wouldn't say you need an electrician to do this. If you're pretty handy, you should be okay with it. Again, just make sure the infrared sauna is turned off. Another note that you guys want to keep in mind is every sauna, there's literally hundreds of different types of control boxes or brains out there. This is just one example. There is going to be a ton of different configurations out there, but generally speaking, you have all the same components, and that's the power supply, circuit board, relays, or fuses. It's going to be pretty simple. Some of them are a little bit more complicated now with the phone technology, chromotherapy lighting, and stuff of that nature. But so that's how you do it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to give us a call or visit us at fixmysauna.com, or just simply shoot us an email. And I hope this helps everybody that has a problem, and we can fix it and get you back into good health. Again, if you have any questions, give us a call, email, or visit our website. Have a good day. Bye-bye.